Hey, this is Larry Beachum, and today I'm putting together one of the most popular trainings I've ever done before. I just did a webinar about this technique, and the reviews on the information were phenomenal. And so I decided to put together a cleaned up version of that training for you to be able to implement right away. And I call this a mobile classified, but essentially what it is, it's a post-it note that has a stamped message on it that you mark it, and it will absolutely get your phone to ring literally within minutes of doing it. So this is a little known secret that I came up with that I wanted to kind of share with you as a way to give you some value and also to maybe spark or to restore enthusiasm in your organization. So let's get into this training real quick. I think you'll appreciate the power of what this can do. But what will it mean for you to be able to get your newest person going really quickly and in about an hour? I think that that's cool when you know that by the time someone signs up in your business, roughly an hour later, they can actually have someone to talk to about their business. And I think that for most organizations, that would create some massive growth. But then even for yourself, you might be someone that's experiencing some frustration, some discouragement and disappointment, and you're hungry for a new way, a new technique that's going to absolutely work. And I think that this could be that answer for you. Now, what's cool about this strategy is several things, and one of the things that's really cool about anything that's a marketing strategy is that if it's cheap, anybody can get into it. So this is a strategy that, for really 20, 30 bucks, you can get it going. Number two, as I mentioned already, you can implement this in minutes. Did this webinar training the other day, and right after it was over with, a guy called me and said he went right out and started to implement his mobile classified strategy and literally was getting calls at 11:30, 12 midnight from that strategy. It's pretty good. Number three, it's 100% duplicatable. In our industry, we want to make sure that anything we share with our organization can be duplicated for long-term growth, and it creates an organic effect that everybody can create some synergy and keep the excitement high. Number four, there is no rejection. As you'll soon see, because of the nature of how you market with the mobile classified and the fact that your phone is ringing, it's impossible to get rejected because the people are calling you. And then, of course, you can get qualified leads. And that's the most important part here, is that you get an opportunity to talk to qualified leads. Now, this training is not exactly about conversion as much as it is about lead generation. I am going to give you some ways to start converting the leads. I'm going to teach you what to say. But in terms of conversion, that's going to be something you're going to have to fine tune. But most certainly, I guess you would agree that if you got 10, 20, 30 people calling you an hour, you'll get good at conversion. Trust me. Now in this training, here's what you're going to learn. The four magical lines to stamp onto the post-it note that get your phone to ring. These lines have been tested. If you change them, I cannot guarantee what the result will be. I cannot tell you what the result will be. So I want to suggest, before you become a turn this into a science experiment, just do it the way I'm teaching it. And then as you get results, and you can start to, fine tune or change or experiment. But for now, just stick with what we give you. Number two, I'm going to teach you the posture that you need when the people call. And I don't mean sitting up in your chair straight. And number three, I'm going to teach you the qualifying language to weed out all the people that are not going to be worthy of you going any further than that phone call. And number four, what to send them via email as a follow-up to schedule an appointment. And number five, where to place the mobile ad, which is really, really the most exciting part. And then finally, we're going to talk about some goals that you can set to recruit at least 4 people per month. So let's jump into this. Now, you want to go to my blog. If you're not watching this video from my blog, I want to recommend that you go to my blog, because there's a document that you're going to need to download. When I get to that point, I'll tell you what that is. But you want to go to my blog, and you want to search for this particular article. This is where you'll be able to download the document that you'll need to email them to follow through and set up your appointment. All right, now, after you take a look at this training, you won't look at post-it notes the same ever again. I want to promise you on that. All right, so let's talk about what you need. These are the only 2 things that you need for this strategy. You need basically some post-it notes, and you need an ink stamper. So you're looking at right around a $25 out-of-pocket expense. Obviously, the ink stamper is a one-time expense, and the post-it notes are a little bit of an ongoing expense. But shoot, for $4 per 100, that's not really that expensive. You're looking at 4 cents per. All right, so that's basically all you need in terms of supplies. So let's talk about the marketing message. And again, this message has been tested to work. Now, let me tell you where I got this message from. All right. This entire strategy, for the most part, I adopted from a guy who has a network marketing health and wellness opportunity, and he uses signs that he nails to telephone poles or use those little metal stakes that sticks it in the ground and you drive by. And so I called this number and I actually walked through the process as though I was a prospect, and I ended up at a meeting that he had that was literally packed out. The room had 35, 40 people in the room, and I was just shocked by the number of people. He did about a 30-minute presentation, and afterwards, one person, while I was there, signed up at their high-end price of $640. So I witnessed this whole process from start to finish actually work. So this is not a strategy that's just, ooh, this sounds good, let me teach it. I have social proof that it does work. But you got to understand, anything in marketing that is along this line, it takes effort and it takes commitment, and this guy had it, and he had a great idea with signs. But I took this a step further because, number one, to produce the signs would cost quite a bit of money for most people, and number two, when you really think about a sign along the side of the road on a telephone pole, if you're in your car and you don't have a pen handy, you're not going to be able to get that number or remember it really readily easily. So this is my modification of his technique, because a post-it note you simply can stick somewhere in a high traffic area, and if a person is interested, they will take it down and take it with them. If they're not, they won't mess with it. That's what's cool about this. Here's some things to remember about this strategy. I like to call this a fishing expedition because you're looking for entrepreneurs. You're not looking for job seekers, because essentially that's a lot of what you're going to get on the phone are people that are thinking that you're offering a job. So remember, this is a fishing expedition for entrepreneurs, and I'm going to show you how to sift through all of the people that bite down on this bait. But remember, this is you're looking for entrepreneurs, business-minded people. No different than any other technique you will use. It's the same. Number two, qualifying these people is a must. The last thing in the world you want to do, because you feel like you want to satisfy the urge to present your business, is to push people through, which means that you don't do the qualifying. Just because your phone rings and someone is on the other end does not mean that that's a qualified lead yet. That's just a lead. But we need to qualify the leads, and that's very, very important so that you don't waste time, energy, gas on people who do not deserve to be in front of your opportunity. And then I want you also to manage your expectations, okay? Most of the people will not be qualified. I mean, I can't stress that enough. The majority of the people won't be qualified, but that's okay. Think about it this way. If you went out in the marketplace belly to belly, shaking hands and trying to talk to strangers about your business, which is a technique which most people have used or have been taught in network marketing after they burn through their warm market list, what level of rejection would you experience there? And how many people would you actually run into that would be qualified? You see what I'm saying? So understand that this technique is going to do the job for you to get people in front of you to at least talk. You have to do the work to qualify them. So don't get discouraged if the majority of the people are not qualified. You're looking for key people. You know, one of the greatest network marketers in the world, Dexter Yeager with Amway Corporation, says that you talk to a lot, but you find a few. So this technique gets you a chance to talk to a lot so you can find those few. All right, so let's talk about the most exciting part. So now we know what we need. We know what we need to put on the Post-it note. So now let's talk about where we can place these mobile ads. Now, before I get into that, let me say the reason why I chose this approach as opposed to personal property is because, number one, you don't want to waste your mobile ad. All right, when you stick this on someone's car, or you go up and down the street and you stick it on someone's mailbox or their personal door or their apartment door, that kind of stuff, you're going to waste a lot of them. Because think about it this way. If 10 people were not going to be interested that you stuck it on their door, they'll ball it up and throw it away, and you just wasted 10. But if you stick this in a high traffic area, one of the ones I'm going to show you, 10 people could actually look at it and not touch it. You still got the same result, but you didn't waste any. And those that are interested will in fact take it down, take it with them, and call you. So let me stress again, those that are not interested will not touch it. You got the word out to that individual, but those that are interested will take it. This is better than passing out flyers. This is better than standing on some street corner trying to get people to, connect with you. This is better than walking around with your business card and that kind of thing. You let the business come to you, and then from there you do the work of qualifying them. So let's talk about some places you can stick it. Number one place, my favorite, is the gas pump. You stick this right up there on that digital dial while they're watching their gallons pump. Because here's what I've seen happen. Someone will pull up to the gas station. They'll either head inside to pay for it, or they'll come right around to use the credit card machine. And if you decide to do this, you'll get a nice chill going up and down your spine to see people actually read it. And then if you're lucky enough, you'll see somebody actually take it down. That'll get you fired up. So stick this right by the digital dial on the gas pump. At the ATM machines, another one. I actually get calls from the gas pumps and ATMs more than I get them anywhere else. So when someone walks up to the ATM to get some money out, there you have your mobile classified. DVD rentals. In my town, we have a machine called Redbox, and they're becoming more and more popular, where you can go and rent a DVD. And this is located in a pharmacy where I live, in a CVS pharmacy. So you can stick your Post-it note or mobile classified right there for people to see. This is a coin stock, coin changer, coin counter. In grocery stores, these are popular, where people will come in with a big can or jar or bucket of change and dump it right into their little canister thing there for it to count. Well, again, this is a high traffic area, so I would suggest you try that. At the bank, I've actually done this a couple of times, gotten some calls. I'll come to the bank and stand there and say, hey, what's my balance or whatever. But while I'm standing there, if you can see how the counter is, I'll just take one and stick it there and walk away. So for the next person or persons that come up to the bank to do a transaction, then they have one that potentially they could get. Also at the bank, here's a drive-through. You see the ATM in the background there, but you also have where you drive up when you're in your car, and they have that canister there that you can shoot up through there to get a transaction done. Well, I stick one right there on the little digital screen, and someone can certainly reach out their window and grab that. At the change machine. Now, this is cool for places where people actually need to exchange bills. For example, at the laundromat. If you don't own a washer and dryer, you're probably going to the laundromat and you're going to the change machine to wash your clothes and dry them. Well, this is a great place to stick one of these Post-it notes. Another place to stick this is at a coin-operated car wash. You have those car washes where people manually wash their car. Well, they'll need change, so you can stick this in that same spot. All right, here we are with the car wash. This is where you drive up and you have the kind of car wash where you don't get out of your car. You just pay for it and go through the little conveyor belt thing, and it pushes your car through. But right where you make the purchase, you can stick your Post-it note. But then also, once you get done washing your car, most people go and vacuum it out. Well, at the vacuum hose, yet again, you can stick a Post-it note or a mobile classified. At the mailbox, how many people go out and mail snail mail? Well, you can go out to really any mailbox and stick one out there, and hey, you might get you a bite. At the pop machine or the soda machine, that's kind of self-explanatory. And you see I stick it up kind of high where they would end up putting their money in or making their selection. So there is no limit to how many places you can stick this. How creative can you be is the question. But remember, you want high traffic areas, and you want to make sure that you don't do any personal property or anything like that. Okay. Another tip is, I want to make sure you understand, if you noticed, I did not have 14 Post-it notes in one spot. I had one. All right. So if you're going to be at the gas pump, just put one. Don't put 5. Don't think, because it just doesn't really work as well. It doesn't really look as good either. So just stick one and create a route for yourself. A 1 mile radius from your house. Just create a route every day. Go out and check your spots that you chose, and if they're gone, put new ones up. There you go. Now, this is going to get your phone to ring. Absolutely. When I first did this, my phone started ringing 30 minutes later. I just got a phone call yesterday from a guy who said that he had went out that night after I taught this, and by the next morning at 9 he had 8 calls. So your phone is going to ring. I'm going to trust me, your phone is going to ring. All right. Now, depending on what phone number you use, let me address that here. I use my personal cell phone. That's fine to do that, and you're going to get a lot of calls on your personal cell phone. If you would prefer not to use your personal cell phone, then I would suggest you get a recorded service. For example, there might be a free service that you can use. I don't know, I can't recommend one at this moment, but I know Google Voice has a system that you can use that'll give you an actual number, and that will ring your cell phone. And I don't know if Google Voice has a voicemail system, but I know the guy that taught me this strategy actually, all his calls go to a recording, and the recording simply says something like, "Thank you for calling our office. You know, we're on another call away from our desk. If you're calling for part-time work, please leave your information and someone from our office will call you in the next 24 hours." So you can certainly leave a voicemail message recording like that and send traffic to that. You can change the voicemail on your own personal cell phone to something like that. I just simply pick up the phone when they call and I take the call. If I'm busy, I let it go to voicemail, and my voicemail message does say that. All right, so those are some things that you can consider. I wouldn't suggest you use your home phone. I would suggest you use something different. But nonetheless, let's talk about how we qualify these people. Okay, so typically, here's what you're going to get. When someone picks that mobile classified up, they're going to call you and say, "Hey, my name is Bill, and I was at the gas pump and I found this ad, basically taped to the gas pump. I wanted to know what you have to offer. You know, what is the job or what's the work that you guys are offering?" All right. So here's what I basically say. "Hey, Bill, my name's Larry Beachum. I own and operate a blank company." In this example, if I were in a health and wellness opportunity, I would say, I own a health and wellness company. We're a 17-year-old Atlanta-based company that markets antioxidant beverages. I run one of the largest or fastest growing offices in Atlanta, and I'm looking to expand throughout Atlanta and some surrounding areas. So I'm searching for the absolute best candidates that Atlanta has to offer. And what I'm looking for is someone who is an entrepreneur or is or would like to be self-employed or wants to own their own business. Now, sales is a big plus, but it's not required. So Bill, does any of that sound like you? This is your qualifying script, ladies and gentlemen. Do not bypass this. Don't push people through trying to get them in front of your presentation, because you must know that most of the people are not entrepreneurs. Most of the people are not interested in self-employment, and most certainly are not ready to own their own business. But there are some that do. Seriously. All right. So think about it this way. If you had picked this up and you might have been looking for part-time income or part-time job, and someone came to you and offered you an opportunity to own a business, maybe you've been thinking about owning a business. Maybe you set aside some money for an opportunity to come along, and maybe they just catch you at the right time, and the fact that they said that triggered something for you to get curious enough to look further into it. So that is what you're after. So do the work to get the people qualified. Now, if they say yes, this gets into some posture that you must have on the phone. So let's break this down. If they say yes, you want to say something like this. "Now, Bill, because of the massive amounts of responses I'm getting to my ad, I'm sending all the candidates a pre-qualification application via email. Now, I'm going to need you to read it over and answer the 10 survey questions that follow. Now, depending on how you respond to those questions will determine if we go any further." Okay? Make it perfectly clear this is how you qualify your candidates or the people that call in. So, and ask them, "Would you like me to send you that application?" If they say yes, you say, "Excellent, Bill. I need you to get this back to me by 5 o'clock today. Now I'm going to put you down as a follow-up call at 5:30, and assuming that you qualify based upon the responses, we'll go from there. So if you qualify, we'll take the next step." Now, if they say okay, you let them know this, and this is very, very important, because this is about posture and control. "Bill, I don't cancel and I don't accept reschedules. So if you're not available when I call you, I'm going to assume that you're not interested and move on to the next candidate. So is 5:30 p.m. the best time for me to call you back, or do we need to pick another time slot?" All right. So if he says no, I would rather have another time slot, what do you have available? And you give him a couple of other options, and then re-emphasize that I don't cancel or reschedule. This is your time, so I will call you. And if you're qualified, we'll get into it. If not, I'll let you know at that time. All right. So here's some key things to remember once you start qualifying these people. All right. They think that they're talking to an employer. So you hold all the posture, you hold all the control, unless you give up the control. All right. So don't give up the control of the conversation. All right. People are going to say words like, job. This is work. You want to make sure that you do not say job. You want to make sure that you say work, because this is work. You don't want to mislead people. You want to make sure they're clear that this is work. All right. And then, of course, you may have some people ask you, how do they get paid? My typical response is it's 1099 income, which means that you take care of your own taxes and you can make as much as you like, or that you feel you deserve. And now, depending on your company, you might have an area of your comp plan that pays weekly, every 2 weeks, or monthly. You can let them know. You'll be paid every week, you'll be paid every twice a week, or you'll be paid once a month. All right, that kind of thing. So that's how you want to get into those responses. If they get into what type of work it is, my typical response is, I have so many people calling me, I'm going to send you this documentation and you can read through it, and we'll get into the specifics of the work description, the income, the hours, and all of that. We'll get into all those details, but right now I need to make sure that you're qualified before we go any further. So if you, again, trust me, you hold the cards because they're calling you. They have to accept your terms, okay? Don't buckle, don't buck or break down. Just have the tone of voice and have the energy that this is your process and this is how you do it, all right? I remember one day, just to kind of give you a totally unrelated example of how this powerful this is. There's a company out here called Vector Marketing, and they sell what's called Cutco knives. And I remember back in the day, I wanted a job because they advertise, to be employed, and I contacted them and wanted to find out what the work was or what the job was. And on the phone, the lady told me, we have open interviews or open overviews that take place twice a day. You're welcome to come in and learn more about it that way. And I said, well, can you tell me a little bit about it on the phone? And she says, our system is to bring you in for an overview, and we'll get into those details at that time. Would you like me to schedule you or not? That was her posture on the phone. I have no idea if she was a secretary, if she was the owner. I didn't know at the time. But because I was looking, I decided to go ahead and come in. All right, so don't be afraid to take control. All right, so again, you want to go to my blog, and here's where you want to download the document that is going to qualify them. Now, I won't get into the details of the document here, but essentially what I did was I transcribed a message from a guy named Jamal Bryant that's called "You Don't Need a Job." And believe me, when you download and read this document, you will see how powerful it is to shape a person's thinking in terms of the difference between having a job and having real work that's fulfilling and that ties to their purpose. All right, so go there and find the article that's entitled "This Ridiculously Easy Strategy," and you may already be on my blog looking at it, so just click on the link and download the document and you should be all set. Okay, so if they send it back to you at the appointed time, congratulations, you just landed yourself a qualified prospect, because that's what it's all about. So let's look at some goals. All right, so here's a minimal goal I want you to set. First of all, I want you to set a goal to get 10 calls a week. Now, if you do enough of these quickly, you're going to get a whole lot more than 10 calls in a week. But for those of you that are relatively conservative, you might be a little shy about trying this. Just set a minimum goal of getting at least 10 calls a week from this strategy. Then out of those 10 calls, I want you to set a goal to get 5 surveys back out of those 50 calls, okay? Because you're going to make an attempt to get everybody a survey. But not everybody's going to accept it. Not everybody's going to be qualified once you ask them those questions. And don't, again, push anybody through. So remember, the majority of people won't be qualified. So because they either not send it back or they'll do something or say something to disqualify themselves. And that's perfectly fine. And then you want to set a goal to recruit 1 person a week. So if you have any questions or testimonies, I want you to come to my blog and basically look for this section of my blog where you can actually post that content. And then also you can be free to tweet this or send someone to through Facebook to get this training. Okay, so looking forward to any testimonies, looking forward to any questions that you guys may have about this strategy. All right, so this should be really, really fun for you. So I'm encouraged by the fact that I'm getting a lot of great responses already from this. So in conclusion, I wanted to make a quick offer for those of you that are listening to this. I don't know if you're on LinkedIn or not, but I actually wrote a book on how to generate leads on LinkedIn, and right now it's the only resource in the network marketing world for network marketers on how to generate leads on LinkedIn. And I created an hour-long training video that you can go and watch so that you can learn more about LinkedIn and how you can generate leads there as well. So look forward to seeing you soon. So with that being said, good luck to you, and I'll be looking forward to getting your calls, your emails, and such. So for now, we'll talk soon. Take care.